Hey guys, welcome to the analysis for today. Of course, it's Monday, so the markets are just starting off, maybe giving us an idea of what to expect throughout the rest of the week. Today was actually a holiday in the United States, Columbus Day, but we still saw a lot of momentum from last night when the markets opened up and following through today, including a pretty incredible burst of Great British Pound weakness, which I did not really expect. So that's something we're going to take a look at today, along with a few other major things going on in the market today. And I'm just going to give you an idea of what I'm expecting and what I'm looking forward to based on some of the price action that we saw today. Okay, so before we get into that, let's take a look at our news so we know what to expect tomorrow in terms of news announcements. Okay, so here's tomorrow's news, and you can see that we don't have a ton, but the one major thing is that Draghi is speaking. He's the ECB president, so that always moves the markets quite a bit when he opens his mouth. So want to pay attention to that. That's at 3:30 a.m. So you may or may not be trading at 3:30 a.m. depending on what time zone you're in, of course. But if you have some open trades, they will certainly be affected by Draghi speaking. So keep an eye on that. And then later on, don't forget about manufacturing production on the Great British Pound. Now, the Great British Pound has been very weak today, so that news announcement could either accelerate that or put a stop to that. So that could actually play a major role in the market as well. Okay, so that's your news for tomorrow. Pay attention to that, and we're also going to cover our terms real quick here before we jump into the analysis. These are the terms for Winner's Edge, and basically they just say that we're not licensed or qualified to provide investment advice, and that this service, the daily analysis that is for educational purposes only. It's just us telling you what we believe about the Forex markets. We're not encouraging you to risk your money with anything that we say. Okay, so it's important to understand that. If you need to pause it to read through that, go ahead and do that. I'm going to go into the analysis right now. Okay, so the first thing we have up here is the euro dollar, which you can see, and this is the daily chart. We'll be covering all daily charts today. And one interesting thing to note about the euro dollar is this trend line that we talked about several days ago, and the bounce from this trend line in the upward direction, which was a pretty nice rally to the upside. And of course, this is the major horizontal level, which we've been talking about for how many months now, and price is struggling at this level, which is not a surprise. So the question is, with some of the euro and Great Britain weakness today that kind of pushed price back down, are we going to see a continuation right back through this level tomorrow, or is this actually moving to a lower low based on this pullback kind of pattern that we see here? And so the news, especially Draghi, could certainly play a large role in that. And so that's one of the main reasons that we'll keep an eye on Draghi's speech. What I'm expecting is that if Draghi says good things about the euro, that we should see a burst through this level and look to make a higher high from this level with no problem. Now, if Draghi has nothing good to say about the euro, then this little bearish momentum that got started today can certainly be expected to continue during the day tomorrow, because Draghi's words are going to play a pretty big role in terms of what the euro is going to do. So we're at a decision point right now, and the main factor, I believe, is going to be the news concerning what Draghi says about the euro. So keep an eye on that, and definitely tune in if you're up and trading at that time to what Draghi says, because that could certainly have some long-term implications on the euro-dollar pair. Also, let's check out the pound dollar, because that also will have some implications depending on tomorrow's news. So this is the pound dollar daily chart, and you can see that from the break to the downside off this level here around 162.95, price has continued to go down. There's been some pullbacks. You can see some of the blue bars here, but price has continued to move down and complete this reversal looking shape. So looking like it might be a mirror of this, where we bounced off the same level and continued all the way down toward 153. So that's the kind of potential that we have with the pound dollar short. Obviously, we've got some levels here that were formed by some of the channeling that happened on the pound dollar previous to this. However, this is looking like pretty strong reversal signs. So again, depending on that news tomorrow, this could be some long-term potential, heading towards the 157 area, or perhaps all the way down to 153, which is obviously a very major level. Now, pound has been very strong recently, and even finishing up the week last week looked to show some strength, but obviously we can see that the pound is pushing down quite a bit today, and looking for continuation of this reversal pattern which we saw previously and looking like we're seeing now. Again, that's going to be a big issue concerning the news. Will the news push this farther down, or will it put a stop to this and actually push it up towards higher prices? Unfortunately, I don't have the answer. I'm just going to have to wait and see, like everyone else, what the news really means for the pound. And again, I think that could definitely have some long-term implications. So we'll pay attention to that and certainly get an idea of where pound is going after some of the news is released tomorrow. The AUD is also kind of at a decision point right now. Let me pull to that. It's sitting right on top of a major level here, and it can either make a strong bounce off the 101 area, or it can come crashing right through and maybe come back all the way to test this upward channel line, which has been intact for quite some time. So the AUD and the pound and the euro, and actually some other pairs too, are all at pretty critical decision points where they can either break major levels or of course go in the opposite direction. And like I always say, it's not much help to you for me to say, oh, it could go up or it could go down. Anyone can tell you that, and that will always be true. But what's important to note is the key levels that have certain implications, like this level here around 1017 is a critical level. If it bounces off this level, that has strong implications that it will come back to test this downward level. And if it breaks through this level, that will have strong implications that it will come down to test this level. So we're in a converging wedge here, which you can see based on my lines. And whether it breaks this 101 area will kind of give us high probability as to whether it's coming down to test the lower level of this wedge or the higher level of this wedge first. And then we'll see, of course, at that point whether it's going to bounce and continue to respect the wedge that's forming, or if it's going to break out. But I think this level has high implications as to what that's going to be. Another one of the pairs that we've been really looking at is the euro pound because of the nice trending qualities that it has. We can see that recently the euro pound has made very consistent higher highs as we've been moving up and looking to make another higher high on the run that it's on right now. We took a nice long off this trend line and horizontal line combination, which we actually took profit on today. But is good trending motion, looks like it's going to be continuing. We got out of the trade today because we also had a pound yen long in which we took took profit on that one as well. So we kind of had the euro pound and the pound yen hedged, and because the pound yen was closed out, we also took the euro pound because we didn't want to take away that hedge protection, so we took profit on both rather than leaving one open and closing the other. So that was the situation there, but looking like it is still going to continue to try to make a higher high. But for us, it was about getting out with good profit and keeping the safety of the position intact. But the euro pound still looking good. News will certainly affect this one as well. A pair that we don't look at too often is the AUD yen, and I want to call your attention to it today because of this key level that's intact right now that it appears that the AUD yen is bouncing off. You can see that it's been tested many times, and it's a very key level around 79.70, and we have a good tail bar that's forming that looks like it's trying to push price up. Now it is in the middle of a pretty momentum-filled downtrend, so any longs here are of course risky, but we do see some pushing of price action up against this level, and the AUD yen has been respecting this level for quite some time. So that's one to keep an eye on, and of course take advantage of if we do see continuation moving up, because it's likely that it'll come back to test this downward trend line that we have here. So I just wanted to call your attention to that level and make sure that you're keeping an eye on that. Okay, and that's about the last pair that I wanted to call attention to. A couple different things going on, but the most prominent is that pound weakness that we saw in the market today, which was quite surprising, really. Even though on Friday there was some pound weakening, it was unexpected, at least for me, to see it continue with such incredible momentum today and last night, of course, which factors into today. But just amazing pound weakness. The pound yen, of course, crashing an incredible amount, and also the pound New Zealand and pound AUD and a few other pound crosses. So a lot of weakness there, and the news tomorrow should play a pretty big role in whether that continues or is reversed. A lot of times those momentum moves are often reversed right away with the news that comes out the following day and turn out to be a lot of fake move in that. So definitely keep an eye on the news, keep an eye on the price action, and I'll follow up with you tomorrow post news to do another daily analysis, of course. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon.